I'm talking about expository writing. That's right, expository, the kind of writing you get to do on your end-of-course exam for English 1. Expository writing is where you explain your thoughts about a topic or subject. You might include personal examples or anecdotes to back up what you have to say, but the most important thing is that you offer a clear, organized, thoughtful, and interesting explanation of your thoughts about the subject. Let's look at some things about how our state of Texas scores expository essays. It helps us to know how they're scored so we can make sure we do exactly what we're supposed to do to get the best grade possible. STAR test graders use a rubric to score your essay. The rubric is found in its most basic form in the bulleted list that accompanies the prompt that you will see when you're taking the test. Underneath the topic, it will say, "Be sure to state your thesis clearly, provide specific support for your thesis, use appropriate organization, choose your words carefully, and edit your writing for grammar, mechanics, and spelling." These 5 bullet points are the 5 things that the people who score your essay will be looking for. So make sure you pay attention to this and double check the rubric after you write and as you are writing to ensure that you do your very best job. Your essay receives a score of a 4, 3, 2, or 1. The most effective essays are scored a 4. That's accomplished writing. That means that not only do you understand how to write an expository essay, but you write one that's interesting to read, beautifully organized, with amazing transitions, specific, clear ideas, and great attention paid to the use of punctuation and grammar to enhance your writing. A 3 is satisfactory. It means that you're doing the job that you need to do. You're on level. You're writing an essay that shows a good understanding of what an expository essay is and does everything that they ask in the rubric. 2 is basic. That means that you're developing your understanding of an expository essay. You've got some of the ideas down, but a few of them might still be a little bit shaky. And a 1 is given to a limited writing. In this case, there are some areas where you're really not getting it, and it shows a limited or incomplete understanding of what expository writing and writing is all about. Let's look now at a sample essay together. As I read this essay to you, I want you to follow along and think about these 6 questions. Is the topic interesting? Is there a thesis? Does the writer support the thesis? Does the writer stay on topic? Is the writing organized? And is the grammar okay? If you've got those sentences in your head, let's start reading. Every day in life, every person is presented with choices, whether it be what to wear, to invest in certain stocks, or what sport to play. Depending on the circumstances and what person is deciding, the actual decisions and opportunities that come out of them will vary. But sometimes, it is good to step out of our comfort zone every once in a while and take a risk or two. It is good and sometimes necessary to take a chance in life. If in life nobody took a chance, then life would be boring and our economy would be non-existent. Nobody would take the risk of starting a new business or investing in a stock. It would be as if the world was afraid of taking chances. The only television show would be a news-type channel with no bias because of the chance of offending someone or conflicting with someone's views. Everyone would be hesitant and shy if chances were not taken and adventured. Nobody would meet anyone new, and humans might die off because of the chance relationships wouldn't go well. Arranged marriages would have to happen, which would create almost a sense of clans, undivided and unwilling, much like early Eurasia, a bunch of feuding principalities, undivided and uncooperative. His would make life bland and might cause more chaos and problems than the one people were trying to avoid by playing it safe. A popular saying, "It is better to ask forgiveness than permission," shows how taking risks and making mistakes can help us learn and have fun in life. If no one took chances and made mistakes, life as we know it would be dramatically different. In situations, taking chances in life is extremely necessary while making decisions. Let's take a moment and review those questions again. Is the topic interesting? Is there a thesis you can find? Does the writer support that thesis? Does the writer stay on topic? Is the writing organized? Is the grammar okay? Let's look what the graders from the state said about this essay. Here's how the graders answered these questions. Is the topic interesting? Yes. The topic is thoughtful and engaging. The writer presents what could be an ordinary topic and connects ideas in an interesting way by using examples that are relatable to most people. Is there a clear thesis? Yes. Here it is. But sometimes it is good to step out of our comfort zone every once and a while and take a risk or two. It is good and sometimes necessary to take a chance in life. Does the writer support the thesis? Yes. To support this thesis, the writer utilizes specific examples. Nobody would take the risk of starting a new business or investing in a stock. Nobody would meet anyone new, and humans might die off because relationships wouldn't go well. Does the writer stay on topic? Is the writing organized? Yes. The writer stays on topic, and it is easy to follow the ideas between the thesis in paragraph 1 and examples to support the thesis in paragraph 2. The last paragraph connects both paragraphs and leaves the reader with a popular saying to prompt self-reflection of risks taken. Is the grammar okay? Yes. The writer demonstrates command of conventions with only minor errors. That was a minor error I just made in reading. The errors do not impact the readability of the essay. Overall, the focus, support, and command of conventions represent a satisfactory writing performance. That would receive a score point of a 3, a satisfactory essay. Let's look at one more essay and see how this writer did. We're asking the same 6 questions as before. Is the topic interesting? Is there a thesis? Does the writer support the thesis? Does the writer stay on topic? Is the writing organized? Is the grammar okay? Here's the essay. Failure is a fact of life. It follows someone like a dark shadow or an ugly brother. But some choose to embrace failure differently than others. Some learn from their mistakes and move on, while others are blinded by their flaw and refuse to move forward. The truth is, no one is perfect. The main factor that separates the great from mediocre is their reaction to failure. Great heroes take chances, knowing that when they knock on the door, failure could greet them. By taking chances, one continually tests one's limits and learns from their mistakes on how to succeed later. Complacency can result in mediocrity. The desire to constantly better oneself can result in success or failure. But to the great leaders and heroes of history, the benefits of taking chances outweigh the harms. The early pioneers of the American West knew this. They could have easily been content with their relatively stable life in the end. But they took their chances and headed west in search of more land and a better life. It is true that many failed and lost their lives to natives, diseases, etc. But those who succeeded benefited tremendously from the riches gained from the land. The Great Plains is now America's breadbasket, and its success in food production was made possible only because a few individuals dared to take chances and improve their lives. Daring to take chances can also lead to new knowledge on how to succeed later on. Thomas Edison, now one of the most prevalent names in school textbooks, failed thousands of times before finally succeeding with the invention of the light bulb. In fact, his notebook contained thousands of sketches from failed attempts. But after each failure, Edison learned what worked and didn't work until he finally succeeded. Each time, Edison risked failure and lack of funding, but his risks turned him into the rich and famous man he was. The same concept applies to sports. Veterans are much more valued than rookies because the teams already know that the veterans won't be afraid of making mistakes or taking the shot that could win or lose the game. If Michael Jordan never attempted a last-second shot, his greatness would go unrecognized and his team would lose. True, he failed many times, but each time he learned a new trick or move to help him succeed the next time, adding to his experience. Taking chances helps one better oneself and learn from mistakes to succeed in the future. The fear of taking risks can cripple one's success. If one never tries, how will he know what successes he could have accomplished? Let's check in with our graders to see what they have to say about this essay. Is the topic interesting? Yes. The essay is thoughtful and engaging. The writer presents the topic and provides unique examples to show how perspective can change your outcome. Is there a clear thesis? Yes. Here it is. By taking chances, one continually tests one's limits and learns from their mistakes on how to succeed later. Does the writer support the thesis? Yes. To support this thesis, the writer utilizes well-chosen examples. Thomas Edison, now one of the most prevalent names in school textbooks, failed thousands of times before finally succeeding with the invention of the light bulb. Each time, Edison learned what worked and didn't work until he finally succeeded. Does the writer stay on topic? Is the writing organized? Yes. The writer stays on topic and has a logical progression of thought, and as he establishes a connection between the early pioneers in paragraph 2 and Thomas Edison and Michael Jordan in paragraph 3. The piece is unified because paragraph connections make the writer's train of thought clear and easy to follow. Is the grammar okay? Yes. The writer demonstrates command of conventions. The writer uses a variety of sentences, and the writer's purposeful word choice enhances the essay. Overall, this essay represents an accomplished writing performance, and therefore it receives the top score, a score point of 4. We're done talking about expository writing now. Just remember, the best way to make sure you do well on this type of writing is to pay attention to the rubric and do exactly what they're expecting you to do. That way, you can't miss, and you'll get an outstanding score. Happy writing!